The danger of worldly song infiltration into the church by gospel artists. The church is facing a subtle yet significant threat, the infiltration of worldly songs into its worship repertoire by gospel artists. This trend may seem harmless, but it poses a danger to the spiritual integrity and doctrinal purity of the body of Christ. As the Bible warns, what fellowship has light with darkness? 2 Corinthians 6:14. When we sing songs that echo the philosophies and values of the world, we risk becoming friends with the world and thereby making ourselves enemies of God. James 4:4. The blurred lines between worldly and Christian music. Gospel artists are increasingly incorporating worldly styles and lyrics into their music, blurring the lines between Christian and secular music. While this may be done in the name of reaching a wider audience or being relevant, it can lead to a watering down of biblical truths and a compromise of holy living. As the Bible cautions, do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. We must be careful not to sacrifice our spiritual distinctiveness on the altar of cultural relevance. The risk of idolatry. Worldly songs often promote idolatrous themes, such as self-exaltation, materialism, and sensual pleasure. When we sing these songs in church, we risk introducing idolatry into our worship. The Bible warns, "Take heed to yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, lest it become a snare in your midst." Exodus 34:12. We must be vigilant in guarding our hearts and minds against the subtle influences of worldly music. The importance of discernment. Not all songs that contain some truth are necessarily suitable for corporate worship. We must exercise discernment and test all things against the Scriptures. As the Bible advises, see to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ. Colossians 2:8. We must be careful not to let our emotions or personal preferences cloud our judgment when evaluating music for worship. There is a need for biblical integrity. Gospel artists have a responsibility to maintain biblical integrity in their music. As the Bible commands, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, with thankfulness in your hearts to God. Colossians 3:16. Our worship music should reflect the timeless truths of the faith, not the fleeting values of the world.